Well, it's been a few days since Ford released the new Bronco, and it's safe to say we're all just a little bonkers over it. Sure, we haven't driven it, but from what we know, the new pony looks to be a killer all the way around. But how does it stack up against another remounted off-roader, the Land Rover Defender? The original conquered half the world in its day, but can the new one hold its own against the latest bucking Bronco? Let's take a look at overall size, off-road geometry, powertrain, utility, and of course, price. For this comparo, we're going with the 4-door version of each, so the Defender 110 and the Bronco 4-door. The Bronco can vary in size depending on trim, so we've picked the Badlands model with the Sasquatch off-road package. The two SUVs are actually pretty close in size, with the Bronco having a wheelbase of 116.1 inches, the Defender a bit longer at 119 inches. Overall length, not including that spare tire in the Bronco, is 190.5 inches. The same spec on the Defender is 187.3. Overall width of the Bronco with mirrors folded is 76.3 inches, while the Defender is a bit porkier at 79.1 inches mirrors folded. Finally, the top of the Bronco is 76.3 inches off the ground, while the Defender is a little bit taller at 77.4 inches. I'm going to give the win here to the Bronco, as overall it's just a smidge smaller. Less chance of brushing up against trees and foliage on the trail, and that shorter wheelbase should make for a tighter turning radius and a better breakover angle. When it comes to off-roading, a good indication of capability is the angles. The higher the approach, departure, and breakover angles are, the less likely you are to get stuck. Helping achieve great angles are big tires. The Bronco with the Sasquatch package can be had with 35-inch size 315/70 Goodyear Territory tires wrapped around 17-inch wheels. The Defender goes decidedly smaller with 32-inch size 255/70 Goodyear Wrangler Duratrack tires on 18-inch wheels. Not surprisingly, the Bronco goes big with 11.5 inches of ground clearance, 43.2 degrees of approach angle, 26.3 degrees of breakover angle, and 37 degrees departure angle. Further, it can ford 33.5 inches of water. But the Defender has a trick up its British cuff: air suspension. At full off-road height, the Defender can match the Bronco's ground clearance of 11.5 inches. The approach angle is 38 degrees, breakover angle is 28 degrees, and departure angle is 40 degrees. It can cross water up to 35.4 inches deep. That's really hard to pick a winner here. I mean, the Defender bests the Bronco in a few key areas, but the Bronco with its larger tires should just have an easier time of it. Plus, I'm not really sure how much I trust that air suspension on the Defender. Anecdotally, I've seen air suspension take a dive on the trail, and the mechanical setup on the Bronco is easier to fix if it all goes south. Both the Bronco and the Defender offer a 4- and 6-cylinder engine. The base engine in the Bronco is a 2.3-liter EcoBoost inline 4-cylinder engine, good for a projected 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with a 7-speed manual transmission standard that includes 6 gears and 1 crawler gear, or drivers can opt for a 10-speed automatic. The Defender's base engine is a turbocharged 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine with 296 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. This mill is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Of course, if you want to upsize your power, you can get a 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6, pushing out a projected 310 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque in the Bronco. The 10-speed automatic transmission is the only transmission available for that larger engine. Defender owners can go big with a mild hybrid turbocharged 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine, rated for 395 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. Like the smaller mill, only an 8-speed automatic gets the power to the pavement. Spec-wise, these engines are fairly well matched. I'm inclined to give it to the Bronco for its inclusion of a 7-speed manual transmission, but the bummer is that you cannot get the manual with all of the off-road goodies of the Sasquatch package. So in the end, at least until I drive both of them back to back, I'm going to call this one a draw as well. When it comes to utility, there is a runaway winner here. The Bronco can tow 3,500 pounds and take a max payload of 1,370 pounds. However, the Defender has more than twice the towing capacity at 8,201 pounds, and it can handle 1,984 pounds of payload. Those are fantastic numbers for an SUV. Point to the Defender. However, the Bronco is not made by a luxury manufacturer like Land Rover, and the price reflects that. A four-door Bronco starts at $34,695, including $1,495 for destination, while the four-door Defender comes in starting at $50,925, and that includes $1,025 for destination. However, remember, we've been talking about the Bronco in Badlands trim, and that starts at $46,085, including destination. And we still don't know how much that Sasquatch package is going to cost, so while the Bronco is less expensive, it's not the runaway victory as it would first seem. It's really tough to make a call here, folks. I mean, the Bronco wins in size and price, but it just loses big time in utility. Further, it merely ties the Defender in powertrains and off-road geometry, so you'll have to look at other non-number-based features. While both have independent suspension in the front, the Bronco at least has a solid rear axle, while the Defender continues the independent suspension to the rear. However, that does make the Defender pretty comfortable on the road, and we really don't know the pavement ride quality of the Bronco yet. The Sync 4 infotainment system will most likely be easier to use than what you can find in the Defender. However, the Defender is also offered with a choice of 4 accessory packs to support drivers' lifestyles. In the end, it may just come down to design. The Bronco's designers did an excellent job of capturing the nostalgia of the original while imbuing it with a sense of the modern. The Defender, well, there's some nods to the old one in the rear end and the roofline, but man, that face sure is polarizing. In the end, I think I'd likely pick the Bronco, mostly for the design and because I'm not a fan of the air suspension. Obviously, my opinion might change once I get the chance to drive the Bronco, but based on the spec sheets and the information I have, I'm gonna go with the Ford. But I want to know where you stand. Let me know in the comments and let me know what other vehicles you want to see compared.